Funding from the federal and provincial government set to help pave the way for a $1 billion overhaul of the Yellowhead Trail.
This is truly for Edmontonians an early Christmas gift.
Kicking in $242 million for the project. The province committed the same amount in November. The city will cover the remaining costs for this massive upgrade. The plan is an effort to streamline traffic and upgrade interchanges to turn the 25-kilometer stretch into a freeway. Right now, the Yellowhead sees up to 81,000 vehicles per day, 20% of those being transport trucks. Those numbers, though, expected to grow up to 155,000 vehicles per day in the next 30 years. The Yellowhead has two of Edmonton's most dangerous intersections as well. There's an average of 1,000 collisions a year on the route, with heavy truck traffic and frequent bottlenecks. This project would also create 6,000 jobs, generating more than $500 million in wages, and more than $100 million in taxes.
This is a long overdue project for our city, and I'm glad that it is happening. We have seen the congestion on Yellowhead, what it can do for residents of Edmonton. So congestion, it means our goods move slower across our city. It means our residents have to leave earlier to get to work, and means people get home slower to their families at the end of a long day.
It puts millions of dollars into the economy. It hires hundreds of workers. It employs dozens of firms in the delivery of the project, and all in all, it's the right thing to do at this time.
I really believe Edmontonians will be thrilled that this project is moving forward. The cost and the construction delays will be worth it when commerce can flow more freely and when people can get to and from work more safely. Plus, the jobs that we've heard about and the boost to overall competitiveness will be great for all of Northern Alberta.
The project will eliminate a total of 8 intersections with traffic lights, more than a dozen access points without signals, build new interchanges at 121st and 127th Streets. Preliminary engineering is underway. Construction expected to begin by 2021. It will take about 10 years to complete. Well, a man is facing charges in connection with a historical homicide in our city. 35-year-old Frida Goodrunning's body discovered in a storage shed in West Edmonton in June of 2014. She died of blunt force trauma. Police say the victim was from the Sunchild First Nation and had lived on the streets for the final 4 years of her life. The mother of 6 was considered one of Alberta's unsolved cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women. Detectives arresting 33-year-old Jesse Martin on Wednesday, charging him with second-degree murder and possession of an offensive weapon. This was Edmonton's 12th homicide of 2014. The Edmonton Police Service is throwing its support behind supervised injection sites in our city, but with some conditions.
If you set up an injection site where users will congregate and go there, and once they've injected, have no place to go, have no home to go to, they just merely hang around the area, then they're waiting for their next fix. So what happens is they need to get some cash some way or another, so there's evidence that they'll do crimes, they do shoplifting in order to generate some cash, and once that's generated, they can then acquire more drugs, and it becomes virtually an endless loop where they're there with no really way out. So there has to be something more in place than just a place for them to go and inject drugs and use needles.
We have a really good opportunity here in Edmonton to do something different than what has been experienced, and I think our plan addresses some of the experiences we've had with just wraparound services, that approach.
The plan would see 4 safe injection sites in Edmonton, one at the Royal Alex and the 3 others in existing community organizations. EPS believes the initiatives, though, can only be successful if support services such as medical assistance, food and shelter, mental health and addictions counseling are provided to users right on site. Earlier this week, Police Chief Rod Connect toured one such clinic in Vancouver, which is the first such site of its kind in Canada. Police are looking at ways to keep the communities around these sites safe. Next step for the city is a public consultation process, which is beginning in early 2017. Well, Edmonton is getting ready to bring in the new year with an extra bang. Our city is counting down to Canada's 150th anniversary with a special celebration on New Year's Eve.
There's our clock.
A clock was officially unveiled at City Hall, counting down to a year-long celebration across the country. Canada 150 marks the anniversary of Confederation, and here in our city, there will now be 2 fireworks shows to ring in the new year. One at 8:30 for families with young children, the other happening right at midnight. Either of those is free to the public. There will also be a number of activities inside City Hall. You can also find live music, free skate rentals, fire pits, and food concessions outside. Edmontonians can also paint a tile that will be part of a Mosaic for Legacy project. All of this getting underway at 6 o'clock New Year's Eve.